Timmy Rodriguez, and I'm producing the Kiss tribute album.
I'm Rich Tupica. I helped put together the Devo tribute album. It's called Explosions, Lansing Salutes Devo.
Can you describe how this project came into being? And I know the project was compiled, started being compiled as early as last summer. And do you want to describe how you went about that?
This actually came together as two separate projects. He actually started it probably 6 months before I came around with the idea, and it was actually him that made me think I should do a Kiss tribute album, because Ryan Horkey and Brad and I are all really big Kiss fans, and it was after you sent an email around trying to get bands, and I tried to capitalize on that.
I remember I came up with the idea to do a Devo tribute album because so many bands in Lansing like Devo, and people from different genres of music. I mean, experimental people like Devo, punk rockers like Devo, rock and roll bands like Devo. Everybody likes Devo, so I figured that would be a good band, and also it makes for unique tributes. It's not just a straightforward rock and roll song. It was very ahead of its time for being 80s music. And when I heard about the Kiss tribute album, we were at the GTG house, and Timmy told me about it. It was a great idea, and that's when we kind of came up with the idea to do the double release show, which is going to be at Odie's Hidden Camel on Friday, December 3rd. Yeah, December 3rd. So that's when we kind of came up with the idea to, kind of they're two separate albums, but kind of the same, same idea, and, same GTG, labels can be put on both. Mm-hmm. So they kind of should sit nicely next to each other,
How did it evolve from, like you said, it was started last year. How did it evolve? Were there bands taken out, bands added, different ideas given to you, and then scrapped, and then
the original, I can say, as far as my track list goes, the original track list that I had, probably half of the bands are not on there because they've either broken up or dissolved into another project. But I'm fairly happy with the tracks that I have and with all the bands that have contributed.
Yeah, that's the same thing with me. I mean, a lot of the bands who were on the original track list are still on there, but there's a few people who those bands broke up, like Tukwamina Falls were supposed to be on it, but they don't play together anymore, which is unfortunate because they were a good band. But most of the people finally came through, but that was with help from a lot of people, like Tommy from the Plurals, who does GTG Records. He helped produce maybe half of the tracks, if not more, and he's going to help release it. And Bermuda Mohawk Productions, they did a lot, a lot of bands from that label is on there. And Madlantis Records, which is Bert and Dr. Device, their record label, all of their projects, helped make it come together. I mean, all I did was kind of prod people along, and that's the whole thing about putting out a tribute record, is you have to keep on people and give them deadlines, because if they don't have deadlines, they'll never do it. So that's basically what it is. Producing a tribute album is just getting on bands to actually get it recorded, and then getting the cover art together, which I had Craig Horkey draw an original Devo inspired drawing for the cover, and then if he can tell about the cover of his Kiss record, which is also cool.
I got 4 local models together, dressed them up in Kiss makeup, and then I had Kim Nestal take just nice pictures of them all. I think it was a really cool concept, dealing with the fact that a lot of Kiss's music has to do with girls and sex and shit like that. And
I actually kind of think Gene Simmons would be disappointed. I think he would want a little more nudity or something.
I was a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was...
no, they're all good girls, or his friends.
They all came together and did a wonderful job, and Kim did a great job with the photos, and we decided to use them as the cover and as promo pics, and I think it was very successful.
You kind of already hit on why you chose Devo and Kiss, but were there kind of how did you come to the original decision? Were there other bands you wanted to do, or maybe in the early process, and then you finally decided on Devo and Kiss? Or?
I think I thought about it one time. It was probably, I write for the City Pulse, a column called Turn It Down, so I'm always writing about local music. And I think it was probably just thinking about how, like, Lansing, there's so many different bands. Like, there's not one type of sound. Like, it's not like in Brooklyn where there's, like, a lot of indie, like, trendy bands. Or it's not like, Memphis where there's lots of, like, bluesy garage punk bands. Like, Lansing is really scattered and all over the place. So I was thinking Devo would be good because not only do a lot of these bands already appreciate Devo, but their interpretations of Devo would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
These aren't just straightforward covers. Some of them are, like, some of them, like Whip It that Frank and Earth does. It's a pretty straightforward cover. It sounds great, but then you have a band like Burt doing this obnoxious, slowed down, weird, droned out cover, and it's exactly what I wanted. I wanted some of them to be spot on, like really good covers, and I wanted also to have some weirder ones that didn't really fit in, because I think that's what makes a good record. If they were all perfectly polished covers, they wouldn't, those perfect covers wouldn't stand out. They would all sound really great, and they would all just sound like covers. But when you throw in some oddball covers, it really makes the tracks go back and forth well. And Tommy from the Plurals, who recorded a lot of it, has a lot to do, with the great sounding songs, and then some of the other more experimental bands like Public Pubes and Burt, have this kind of lo-fi, like analog sound that's completely different. So it'll be interesting to hear the album from start to finish.
Mm-hmm. And that kind of leads into my next question. There's like Cavalcade and the Cartridge Family and Johnny Unicorn all over this, and was a goal of the project not to just to pay tribute, but to showcase Lansing's diverse music scene?
That's kind of how I went about it. I kind of stayed exclusively within the Bermuda Mohawk and Good Time Gang catalog. I like being involved with the Good Time Gang. I guess, for example, in winter 2007, we put out this compilation called Situations at Hand Volume 1, and it showcased pretty much a lot of local Lansing bands, and I was really interested in that concept of, here's a CD, here's a bunch of bands, this is who we are. And like Rich said, it's interesting to get everybody's take on a Kiss song. Yeah. Because Kiss is, party rock and roll, stuff like that. And so it was really interesting to see these bands that all have different sounds come together and mesh their styles into a Kiss song. And kind of just playing on the concept of, like, I don't look at it as a tribute album. It's a compilation of artists around here that I guess are big.
Is that comfortable?
Yeah.